Hi, it's Andy, and today I'm doing the quarter year crisis tag. I was tagged in this by Heather from Reading with a Vengeance, so thank you very much, Heather, for one, recommending me as one of your recommended booktubers, and also for tagging me in this because I don't have a video to go up today, so this has saved my ass, if I'm being honest. This tag was originally created by Roisin at Roisin's Reading, and I'll tag them both in the description below. So first off, I want to say please forgive my pallor and my general self. I'm getting over some kind of illness, flu, cold, something, and today's the first day I've woken up feeling slightly more human. My throat is no longer as swollen, so I thought I'm going to jump on this chance to film this video before it gives me like a false sense of hope and I just go crashing down again, because I'm filming this on Thursday and this video you'll be seeing on Friday. So please be kind. Not that anybody's ever not, but if you feel the need to be like, you don't look very well, I'm not very well. That's why. I have the questions on my computer over here, so I'm just going to read my questions off of here and give you my answers. Question 1 is, how many books have you read so far? So since this is a quarter year wrap up crisis tag, I'm going to do to the end of March because it's now the 20th of April when I'm filming this, but up until the end of March I had read 53 books to completion and 56 if you include my DNFs. So 53 books I've read cover to cover and completed those books, which is great. Especially since a lot of that was in March. I read 31 books in March, if you don't know. And yeah, that was like peak motivation and now it's all gone downhill. Question 2, have you already found a book that you think might be a 2023 favourite? I've written 3 books down for this because I could not choose. The first one is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This I read as an ARC and it doesn't actually come out for another 2 months, but I have not stopped thinking about it since then. It is a fantastic STEMist novel about physicists, and turns out I knew more about physics than I actually thought I did, and I found it so interesting. Love the characters, love the characterisation. Just Elsie and Jack are just like, that's it. Those are my favourite couple, and I just love it. I love it so much. The second, which was really a surprise because I was really apprehensive about reading this, was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is one of his follow-ups to The Martian, so it's not anything to do with The Martian, but he wrote The Martian and then Artemis and then Project Hail Mary, and this is the one that people were saying was actually good and Artemis is not. I'm scared to read Artemis, but I might give it a try. This, however, is a chunky sci-fi, nice soft sci-fi, and I ended up really enjoying it. It's nowhere near as good as The Martian, but nothing ever will be. But this just hit different, and I'm really was surprised. And the third one is The American Roommate Experiment by Lynette Armas. Again, this was a surprise because I wasn't that keen on the Spanish love deception to the point where I didn't plan on reading this, but I'm so glad I did because, again, the characters, the conversations, I absolutely loved this. Question 3 is, any 1-star books or least favourite book of the year so far? Yes, well, I've not really had 1-star books. I don't rate books that I DNF, so none of them, the 3 of them are out the window there because I didn't give them a fair chance. A lot of them are not for me, so there's no point in finishing them. So unfortunately, my least favourite book, according to Coppell, has been Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Sean Maguire. I know. This is a highly popular novella series and I just do not like Jack and Jill. The story for me jumped to the interesting parts, it skipped the interesting parts completely and gave me the beginning and the end of a story, and that was it. It was not for me. But for anybody who's mad at me, just hang on. Just we'll get to that later. Question 4 is the most read genre so far. So it's a tie actually between fantasy and romance, which is surprising. So that's 14 books a piece. So it's 14 fantasy, 14 romance that I have read up until the end of March, which is quite surprising actually. Fantasy does win if we include paranormal. If we include paranormal, that's another 8, so that's like 22 fantasy. so fantasy would win. But I want to separate it out because most of my fantasy, as you can see, is paranormal fantasy. Like, you've got paranormal fantasy, paranormal fantasy. I would just call that fantasy, actually. Paranormal fantasy. A lot of my fantasy is paranormal fantasy. I don't do well with big chunky fantasies. I do much, much better with, like, nice, fast, urban fantasies. That's my kind of thing, and a lot of that plugs into paranormal. So let's just say fantasy. Question 5 is a book that surprised you. So again, I've got a couple for this. So the first one I've already said is The American Women Experiment. I did not expect to like this. I did not expect the jump from the Spanish Love Deception to this. For me, the jump was massive. The change in quality was enough that it could be a different writer. I don't know if it's just me with the Spanish Love Deception. You'll need to let me know if you've read both. Do you think that this is much better? Because I do. I just think it's night and day. So this really, really surprised me with how much I enjoyed it. The next thing that surprised me was The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I am not a sci-fi reader. I do not do sci-fi. Like I said, paranormal, yeah. Some fantasy, yeah. I do not do sci-fi. The Martian is like a weird anomaly because I love The Martian, but because of the amount of research that went into that, it's kind of more science fact than science fiction, if you know what I mean. But this is just a nice, slow science fiction novel where nothing happens. Nothing happens. There's no big space battles. There's not loads of different names and stuff being thrown at you. There's not this big political thing that you need to learn. I mean, they've got like the GC, the Galactic, whatever it's called, and then you've got loads of different like species and stuff like that. Fine, yeah, right, it has the elements of sci-fi. It's very, very much sci-fi. However, you are, the entire time in this book, you are with a crew. You learn about their species. You learn a general overview of the universe or the galaxy. And otherwise, you're just getting to know the characters. And that's why I love it. Because I don't do well with anything where you have to use your imagination a lot. So this was just nice and cozy and comforting, and you just get to know the characters. And it's true what people say, nothing happens in this book, and it's just pretty much a character study, and I absolutely love that about it. If you like high stakes fantasy, high stakes sci-fi, do not read this. It's very much low stakes. Next one for you Shauna Maguire fans that are currently sitting there seething is Beneath the Sugar Sky. I know, total 180, because I love this book. This is what I was looking for in Down Among the Sticks and Bones. This book gave me the adventure. It gave me the quick adventure story that I wanted from a novella from the We Were Children book. So I'm very, very happy to continue on after this book, because I think it really is just Jack and Jill that I don't like as characters. So I think as long as I'm reading stories about other people in this world, I will be happy. So Beneath the Sugar Sky, by far favourite We Were Children book. Absolutely, 100%. I think I gave this like a 4-star. So yeah, genuinely surprised that I found one that I liked. Question 6, I think, is a book that's come out in 2023 already that you want to read but haven't yet. For that, I've gone for Immortality, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. This is a book I finished, what was the first one called? I finished Anatomy, a Love Story and immediately wanted to pick this up. I slogged my way through Anatomy, a Love Story thinking, it'll get better, it'll get better, it'll get better. It didn't get better. And then suddenly at the end it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That set up for another book? Like, what? I literally just could not. There was somebody who read it recently and I was like, you need to tell me what you think of the end. And she was like, yeah, you're right. Nothing happened. It was boring. And then the end hit and it was like, well, now I need to read the next one. Hopefully it continues in this vein. Hopefully it does what the Spanish Love Deception does. And the next book is much better. I was expecting something like the Kidder Maniscalco books, the Stalk and Jack the Ripper. It's kind of like that, but it's also not, because these are a lot more action-packed and interesting. This is very much like you're just watching a character do something, which I know sounds sounds like, yeah, that's what a story is, Andy. But what I mean is, like, imagine you're watching TV and you're just watching a scene that happens over and over again. So in this stage, she's doing autopsies to learn about the body. So you're watching this woman in a dress and an apron, mask and gloves, don't even know she's wearing gloves, cut open bodies with mute on. And this is what you're watching for at least an hour. And that's all she does. Occasionally somebody comes to the door to deliver a body. Occasionally she sits there and has a drink. That's it. That's pretty much all that happens in this book. And then the end text, and it's like, what? It all comes together. I think it needed a bit more, so I'm excited for this, which is surprising to me, but we shall see how it goes. Question 7, again, I think, is one goal that you made that you're succeeding at. So one goal I made was that I wanted to read 100 books this year, and as you can already tell, I've read 53, so I am well on my way to hitting that goal. There's no pressure about hitting that goal. I'm currently sitting, I think, at 62 as of the 20th of April, so I am well on my way. I can just relax and not worry about how many books I'm going to read, because I'm more than halfway there already, and it's a quarter of the year. Another goal that I had was to allow myself to reread some of my favourites and not put pressure on myself to only pick up books from my TBR cart. So I actually started rereading this series. It actually goes up to another shelf, and I also have reread Heartstopper again, and I'm sure there's other things on my shelf that I'm looking behind me that I've reread, but I'm not stopping myself. You know when you get that feeling, I just want to reread this. I'm not stopping myself and forcing myself to read something else. I'm just going with the flow and like alleviating that stress off myself, and it's been doing wonders for my reading, as you can tell by how many books I've read this year so far. And the last question is one goal you made that you need to focus on. And I'm just going to go and like completely contradict what I've just said, but that is getting through my TBR cart. I'm looking at it now and I've gone over the allotted space that I've allowed myself for my TBR. So I need to get my act together and get through some of those books. Like, I know I've got a very small TBR in the sense of like, I think I've got like 70 odd books on my TBR, which compared to some people, I know is nothing. Compared to others, that's a lot of books. But personally for me, my goal is to get to 25 books on my TBR. And that is a goal that has gone in the wrong direction. I started out with 60 something books and I'm now over 70 something because I have no chill when it comes to buying stuff apparently. So yeah, that's one goal I want to focus on. Again, however, not forcing myself to only pick up those books, because all it'll do is put me in a slump, and that will help no one. So in the end, it's also asking me who is new to you, booktubers, bookstagrammers, booktokers for 2023 that you recommend. So being a creature of habit, really, I don't have new people really that I follow. A lot of the people that I follow, I've been following for at least a year, if not more, probably since 2020 during lockdown, if not again before. So I'm kind of gonna cheat on this a little bit. So Smash, my friend Smash, has started her YouTube channel. I'll put a photo of her up here, link her down below, and she is currently at her starting point, so she is very much new. I've known Smash for like longer than she's had the channel, but her channel is new, so that's, yeah. And then Dani and Katy are again two friends. I'll pop photos up, and they have recently restarted their channel. So they were doing videos for a while, had a little bit of a break, and have started again. So just giving them a shout out because they have had like time away and come back, so it's kind of new-ish. Also, another creator that I have actually recently started following that I don't know from sort of anywhere other than she was on a few of my lives, and or like in the comments on a few of my lives, and I ended up really interested in her content, is PoppyK. It's Katy, and she again makes booktube vloggy type videos. Another newer actually YouTuber booktuber is Lotti from Lotti's Library. She has started recently. I met her through a Discord, quite a lot, like a lot of the guys that I've been speaking about. And Lotti is in fact a librarian, and also has a wonderful YouTube channel that I love to watch. Lotti is just an absolute sweetheart. I've met her. I've met most of these guys now, actually. And yeah, she's adorable, and she has cats. Bookstagram wise, I'm that person that goes on Instagram to like get through my notifications and then I don't actually look at anything. However, I've got some friends, Siobhan, Catherine and Marlos, who are running the Great British TBR off this month, and they have set up a photo challenge for Bookstagram for part of the TBR-a-thon. And Siobhan's spreads in particular, I always really love. They are so I think they're so talented at putting together a spread. And every time I say that, they're like, no, it's just literally like, I've just thrown this together. I'm like, I can think about that for 3 weeks and still never do that. So I'm going to shout those 3 out and put them in the description. Book talk, I am not involved in book talk at all. I kind of want to get involved in book talk in shorts and stuff, but I'm really not sure how to actually get around it. But yeah, most of my TikTok is not to do with books, so don't really have anything to say about book talk. But oh well. That is the quarter year crisis tag. I will tag everybody down below, like I said, and feel free to chat to me in the comments or go and subscribe to the people that I've mentioned down below. Thanks very much for watching. All my links will be down in the description. Please do like and subscribe. I am slowly starting to build up my subscriber count, and I feel like I need to do more to actually try and promote myself. So if you're watching this, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.